What is the expected output of the following code? So we define a function of x, return 1 if x is divisible by 0 without, in other words, if x is even number and not equals 0. Else, we have 2. So we have a return 1 if x is even number and not equals to 0. Else, we print 2. So we print function of a function 1. So we put in 1 in here and return 1 if x is a, now so 1 is not, we have 1 here. If this function gives us 1, is not, we have 0. So we have 0 here, and then we do, is 0 an even number? No, 0 is not an even number. So we're going to have an answer 1. Is to have function 1 x 1 divided by 2 is not an is odd number. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. It's not and not 0. So we return 2. Then 2 comes back to this function here. And then we execute this function. So we return 1 if 2 divided by 2 or equal to 0. And 2 divided, this one gives us 2 divided by 2, which equals 1. Well, it's not that bad. Okay, so we got functions. Beautiful. What did you expect from this code? Define function. 1, we have p1, p2. p1 equals 1. p2, so we replace p2, 0, this thing, p1 becomes 42. Becomes 42. 42, we got 42, and we got, no, we have 42 here, we have 1 and 42. X equals 3, y equals 1, 2, 3. Function, we call function x 3y equals 1, 2, 3. Then we print 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 40 and 1. So first time we print x 3 second time we print, I don't quite understand. Let's look at the explanation. p1 equals 1x1, 1, 2, 3, y, 1, 2, 3, function xy, print. Yeah, this is a little complicated, so let's see. This question is about argument passing. It is a big difference whether you pass a multiple or an immutable data type. the immutable integer is x, gets copied to P1. Well, I get that. X right here, it gets copied to P1 because this is parameter 1 of the function. It could be anything, right? And the change of P1 does not affect x. Okay, so that's going to be 3. The mutable list in y, right here, gets reference to P2, which is and changes of P2 affects y. P2 becomes 42 at the index 0. It affects the y. So the answer is 342. I'm going to try to understand this and remember, but it's very difficult. 23. So print list hello. So print list hello as one word will divide hello into spaces by default, and we'll break it commas by default, and it will break it down to each letter in single quote. Let's look at the explanation. The result is a list of strings in which every character is a string of its own. Wow. Each character is a string of its own. Interesting. What is the expected output of the following code? So we got this. Let's copy it to the notepad. So we got 1 from here to here. Here we go. This one. Here you go. So we got 1 divided by 5. 1 divided by 5 equals 0.2. Plus 1 divided by 5. 0.2, this means without this, so this one becomes 0. This one becomes 0.2 equals 0.2. The answer is 0.2. 25. Data aggregates. What will be the output of the following code snippet here? We have A equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically what this says, everything but 2. Oh no, this is a step. Okay, right. Okay, so let's just recap. We have an array, or we should call a list of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It tells us here, these two columns telling us to include print A right here. In here, print from here, from A, which is our list name, everything starting with 1, inclusive starting with 1. And 2 means, so basically this one is telling us to start from the beginning, and this one tells us to, it's a divider between the indexes. And it tells us, since this is a print function, that we have to skip 1 because every second number. So that means we print 1, we skip the second. We print 3, we skip the second number. So this is a step. Skip 2. Not inclusive. Skip 2 means every other number. So we're gonna go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And here's the result. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay? That's it.